Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Monday, February 11th, 2019. As you can see, we are overcast today. So, before we get into the topic of today's video, I just want to let a couple updates real quick, okay? So, I don't know if everybody caught the live show last night, but we started a PN1 community. If you go on to my website, preppernurse1.com, and you have to register, because unless you register, you can't see what anybody else has in there. We've started a prepper community where people can engage each other from whatever state that you're in. You can sign up for that state, and that way you can interact with people that live in that state if you want to work on building, groups, or just chatting with other like-minded people that live in the same state as you. And it's a nice way of networking. So that is on there. We've just added a help button, so there's a link also to a video that tells you how to work everything with the Prepper 1 PN1 community. Okay, so that way, if you're interested, go over there and check that out. And again, it's at preppernurse1.com. Completely free. It doesn't cost anything. And so, like I said, nobody can go in there and look unless you are registered. So it's more private that way. And it gives you an opportunity to interact with like-minded people from your own state. And if you want to contact each other, that's completely up to you. Okay? So the little video explains how everything works. And so it's just good information. Also, it's all 50 states, Puerto Rico, also Canada, Great Britain, or the UK, and Germany, Sweden, and Australia are in there. If you are interested in having your state added, please do that. Just let us know, and we will add your country as well. Okay? So just a little information for you guys on that. And again, it's completely free. It's not costing anything for you guys to do that. It's just another way. I've had a lot of people talking about, wanting to be able to start groups, find like-minded people in their own state. So I thought that this is a great way for me to share with you guys another resource, because I know that, like, my channel has been a fantastic way. I've met so many great people through my YouTube channel, and local people that I never would have met otherwise if I didn't have the channel. So for me, it worked out great. So this is just a community-based, like-minded people can get together and chat and talk about things and not be labeled crazy by everybody else. So anyway, so that being said, let's get into the topic of today's video. Now, I've talked about this topic before, guys, but I think this is a really, really important topic, and we need to talk about this. It is so important, and it's something that could happen here in the U.S. really, really quickly, and the food would be diminished so fast that it would be scary. Okay, so a lot of unrest going on around the world, a lot of countries, and when unrest happens and things like that, food disappears. Okay, so there won't be food on the shelves. You can't go to the grocery store. So we'll talk about grocery stores for a second. They use an on-demand thing now. Okay, so like a good example, I had gone to Walmart today, and actually I went to Walmart the other day, and I was picking up some more beans and stuff. Well, generally when I go and I pick up beans, I'll pick up an average of, depending on what it is, what I'm trying to stock up on. Let's say lentils, okay? So I'll go in there and I'll buy 20 pounds of lentils in one shot. And they generally, if they have 2 boxes and there's 12 in each box, that's the most that they have on hand at any one time. So they, if I buy 20 pounds of it, they got 4 left. Now they've got to wait till the reorder comes in with their truck, and so that's where the on-demand thing type of thing goes. So a prepper can go into a place like Walmart or Wegmans and stuff like that and clean them out pretty quickly, to be honest with you. So that's something to think about as far as, that access to food. If everybody went shopping all at one time, the grocery stores would be emptied like that, okay? And it's the same thing if there's an emergency happening, and somebody was just telling me this the other night. There was the snow emergency in whatever state that they were in, and they said that they had gone to the store just more for fun. They didn't have to, they had everything already, but they went more just for fun. And the stores were wiped out. I mean, they had, you know, I mean, not completely wiped out, but, you know, like the basic essentials, there was nothing. I mean, you couldn't get bottled water. You couldn't, you know, like the milk and the bread was like pretty much cleaned out, and those type of things. So, you know, if you got everybody running to the store all at the same time, it can become a very, very dangerous place in a post-event. So the last place you're going to want to be is in a grocery store after an event, okay? Because you're going to be talking about very desperate people, very scared people, and scared people and desperate people are very, very dangerous people, okay? That's what I don't think a lot of people really take into consideration, because so many people are unprepared that it's like, and all of a sudden, if they are all rushing to that store at that same time, it's like I said, that is the last place I want to be after an S.H.T.F event. I want to be home. I want to be hunkered down. I want to be like, okay, we've prepared for this. We're ready for this. And that's what I really want to reiterate to you guys about being prepared. And again, I'm a big believer in diversifying what you have as far as food storage goes. Canned goods, yes, okay, absolutely canned goods. Having, you know, dry goods, having, you know, your rice and your beans and stuff like that, and your pastas and those type of things, absolutely yes. Localized honey, you know, having a bunch of that on hand, absolutely, I think is really, really important. Not the honey you get from the grocery store, the honey you go and you buy from the beekeeper, okay? That's the honey that you're going to want to have. You're going to want to have freeze-dried foods as well, okay? Real important. You want to have your spices. You want to try to be as diversified as you possibly can be. You want to have foods that you would normally eat anyway, that you know, that you can just have right in a rotation. So all of a sudden you don't, like, you've never eaten rice before, now you're eating rice 5 days a week, okay? Incorporate eating rice in your diet, okay? Incorporate eating beans in your diet. So, you know, those are things that people need to think about too. It's going to be a huge adjustment on your body. You're going to be burning a lot more calories, so your intake of food need is going to be going up, okay? Because in a post-event, the whole gamut changes, and you're going to be having to exert a lot more energy. You know, people that are unprepared, like I said, again, they're going to be very, very desperate. They're going to be the people that basically like your zombies, because they're not going to be thinking rationally like a normal person would think, because their whole focus, their whole animal primal instinct is going to be food, food, food. And not just for themselves, guys. If they have children, people are going to do whatever they have to do to get that food, okay? So the more that you can prepare now and be ready for a major disaster or a major, you know, event that would happen that would be a game changer for the United States, the more prepared that you can be now, the better an advantage you're going to give yourself overall. And I think that's really, really important, and I really wanted to emphasize that food is so important. Now obviously you have to have water, okay, but access to water is pretty much all over the place, like I said, unless you live, you know, in Arizona and stuff like that, or, you know, where you really don't get a lot of water, certain parts of California and that type of stuff. But you know, for the most part, people can have access to water. So obviously water is going to be your most important thing, and you should have a good supply of water on hand as well, okay? But food, guys, that's going to be the game breaker right there. Food is going to be, people are going to be very, very desperate, and they're going to do anything that they have to do to get food. So I want you to really focus on getting your food supplies up. And again, diversify. Have your canned goods. Have your dry goods. Have your freeze-dried stuff. You want to always try to figure out different ways to change your meal plan, so you're not eating the same thing day after day after day. If you ate rice 5-6 days a week, after a while you'd be really sick of having rice, especially if it was the same way, if it was made the same way You know, if you ever watch those Survivor shows on YouTube, not on YouTube, I mean on I don't even know what channel it's on anymore, but they have the Survivors where they'll take like 20 strangers and they make them do all kinds of physical labor and they give them minimal food, and a lot of time food is a reward for these different challenges that they have to do. But these people will go in there, and after you know, and they basically they'll give them rice and stuff like that, but they don't give them a whole lot of food. And after, you know, 30 days, you're talking people are dropping 25 pounds or better. So, you know, because they're having to do physical activity, they're having to gather wood, they're trying to keep their fires going to stay warm, you know, trying to build shelters and all those type of things, plus doing these physical challenges to try to win a reward and stuff like that. So you can take a show like that that's for pure entertainment, okay, and see how devastating that is on the body, not having that normal food that we're used to, especially people in the West. You know, Western civilization, we are used to having our food. We like to eat. I mean, that's just the way it is. And as the population continues to grow and we get more and more people on this planet, you know, the fighting for the resources is going to get worse and worse and worse. And we're not even going to talk about the pollution in the oceans from Fukushima just itself, okay? Just that alone, the radiation that's being put into the oceans. Like, I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't go and I wouldn't buy tuna fish that was made now, because of the fact is all those tuna, they go over by Japan, and then when they come over by the West Coast, they're loaded up with radiation, guys, and they're still harvesting them, and they're still saying that they're safe to eat. But I mean, are they? So, you know, that's something to think about. You know, the oceans are being fished out like crazy. You have a lot of pollution. You have a lot of radiation now poisoning the ocean. So, I mean, it's, you know, in the Pacific Ocean, you know, not the Atlantic at this point, but the Pacific Ocean has been decimated by Fukushima. And it's still pouring out tons of radioactive material every day into the ocean. And how long ago was that? You know what I mean? So, those are things to think about, okay? So, learn how to garden as well. You know, somebody had asked me yesterday about microgreens. You know, if you can do that as well, do that. Any way that you can do to make food for yourself, the better. Having food storage is only going to last for so long. It's a good thing to have, but you're going to have to look at your long-term goal is going to be gathering, okay? The long-term goal is going to be gardening and gathering, because I'm telling you what, when an event happens, the woods will be hunted dry within a matter of weeks, okay? There will not be any game out there for people to go hunting, okay? They're going to be just, every Joe Blow in the world is going to be out there banging away with a gun. So those are things I want you guys to think about too. So hunting is really going to be a very short time period that you're going to be able to do that. Gathering and gardening is going to be the key. So learn how to garden now. Get your gardens and work and practice and figure those things out, because that's not just a skill where you put the seeds in the ground and just wait for the things to grow. It doesn't work like that. You have to know what you're doing, okay? So anyway, guys, I hope this is helpful. It's just been a very big concern of mine for a while, and I wanted to really talk to you guys about it, but definitely have a lot of different things as far as food storage. Food is going to be the key, guys. It really, really is. And we have this great opportunity right now to get food put aside and do it, and do it as much as you possibly can. Give yourself every advantage that you possibly can when an event happens over everybody else. Because 95% of the people in this country, the United States of America, do not have a 2-week supply of food and water. That's something to really think about. So if you can give yourself that advantage, if you could have a month worth of food and water put back for yourself and your family, while everybody else is already out there starving, you know, after a week or less, you're still going to be okay for a while, okay? So those are things I want you to think about. So any kind of advantage that you can give yourself, that's what I want you to do. I really want you to work on that, guys, okay? So anyway, again, I just wanted to, you know, that was something I just really wanted to hammer home to you guys, because it's the on-demand system that we have now for these stores. These stores could be empty in a matter less than 3 days. It would be less than I think it would be less than 24 hours if it was a major event. The stores would be bone dry. You wouldn't be able to get anything out of a grocery store. So those are things to think about, okay? So anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off of here for now, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. I hope everybody's having a good start to their week. Remember, guys, we are all in this together, so it's important that we try to prepare the best that we can, and you just keep plugging away at it, you know, and let the people laugh, because the minute after S.H.T.F happens, you are now the smartest person in the room, okay? That's something to really remember. So just take all the criticism with a grain of salt and do what you feel in your heart. It's a calling, okay? It's like something has compelled me and said, I need to get ready, and that's why I've done what I've done, and I continue to do what I'm doing, okay? And it's also my calling to try to help wake up as many people as I possibly can, and that's what I'm trying to do with my channel, and to try to help people as much as I can with questions, and you know, just learning from what I've learned already and what I continue to learn, okay? Remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. So that's important to remember too, because it's like, at the end of the day, family and friends are what you have, and sometimes family is even closer, or friends are even closer than family, okay? Remember also, guys, STD, it's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Don't do this out of fear. I don't want you guys doing it out of fear. I want you to do this out of a calm, collected way of getting ready. And you work at things methodically, and they will happen, okay? How much time we have, I have no idea. I really, truly don't. I have a lot of people ask me that, and there's so many very bad things that could happen, and when it does happen, it's going to happen in a heartbeat. So the more you can prepare now, the better off you're going to be for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your group, okay? So just do the best you can. I will talk to you all tomorrow. I hope everybody's having a great day. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.